You like that? You like that?
What's going on? It's Coach Williams, and I'm back for another breakdown. So today we're going to talk Kyler Gordon coming out of Washington, DBU, going to the Chicago Bears. So I'm doing this video because I've gotten so many people in my DMs, on the comments on my videos, asking me for a Kyler Gordon video. And also, we've gotten some questions about Jaquan Brisker as well. Not doing Jaquan Brisker. Not a huge fan of him. Could end up being a great player, but he's not one of the guys that really got me super excited in the draft. So we're going to do Kyler Gordon today because he was my number 10 corner. So we're going to talk scheme fit here. I don't really look at him and go, oh, this is a great, masterful scheme fit. He was a zone-based corner that played in a zone-based system. He's going to a coach in Matt Eberflus, who's a zone-based kind of guy. Defense is kind of vanilla. I would have liked to see him go to another team that has a much more complex defense, but it is a scheme fit, so it works. I'm going to do the video for you guys. So on this first play right here, he's up here at the top of this screen, and they're running cover 3. So as you can see here, right, he's this deep third defender. This guy's going to be middle third. We're going to get a guy to drop down here, so it's cover 3 strong, and we'll see the result of the play. So the first thing that ends up happening, and really why I like this play, is this guy comes down, you get run action here, and he's coming in, he looks like he's going to crack. You can see Gordon, though, is being super patient, waiting, and he realizes that this is not a crack block. If this was a crack block, he would want to get downhill really fast and replace. But he has really good zone eyes. You see that anytime you watch the film on him. His zone eyes are really good. So he stays in his area. As you can see, the quarterback wanted to throw the ball over here. It's not open. So now quarterback's got to scramble. Broken, busted play. And they end up getting 5 yards, but he does his job. So this next play, not as good. So what ends up happening is, again, we get zone coverage. Now crack block. But this time, he's a little slow to it, kind of like the other time. He's waiting a little bit too long. You might want to stop your feet or inch up or something like that because the crack block does actually occur. And now look at all the space there is. You get to see that. He spins off of the tackle, ends up being a first down. So not perfect, but at least it's not a big, huge, explosive play. He ends up giving a first down on the play, but we can see it even better from the tight here. So we get the crack block up here, and what you want to do is you want to stop your momentum, stop your feet, and then if you see that he comes and makes contact, you got to get downhill fast. Instead, he stops his feet, ends up being a catch tackle. What do we always talk about on this channel? Knockback power. There's no knockback power. So what ends up happening is the runner falls forward, first down. So not great there, but it is what it is. So we can see him down here at the bottom of the screen, and I show you this one because y'all know this guy up here, Trent McDuffie, he was my number 4 corner in the draft. But there's one thing that Kyler Gordon has over Trent McDuffie, and I don't think I've seen anyone say this. You're going to hear it on this channel only. I think Kyler Gordon has better press man technique. I think he's a much more complete football player, but Gordon's press technique is really good, and you'll be able to contrast the two on this rep. So first thing that Gordon does is we see in this system, they run a lot of spot drop zone. So he's got a good feel at this point in the game for what the snap count is. So he opens his hips on the cadence, and then he squares back up. So what do we always talk about on this channel? When receivers are in press man-to-man coverage, they like to come to the line of scrimmage with a plan. You can listen to anybody like Receiver Teacher on TikTok, some of the other guys that are talking about receivers. Receivers like to come to the line with a plan, especially against press man-to-man coverage. Well, that makes things have to deviate from the plan. Then look at his feet. These are really good, balanced feet, nice and square to the line of scrimmage. This is looking Jalen Armour Davis-esque, really good feet. Then when the receiver commits to the outside, he throws the hand. That's really good hand placement here. And so this is really good coverage, even though it ends up being a run play. Now, let's contrast that with Trent McDuffie up here. So he does a good job of staying square too. He's given him a little bit too much space. I'd like to see him a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. And then he's fighting too hard to the outside here. You want to stay nice and patient and keep your leverage. He's fighting really hard to the outside, and he's on his heels. Look at how he's on his heels. He's kind of falling back, and then there's no hand. He doesn't get that hand. See how Gordon here is aiming for that armpit? He's doing a really good job being forceful with this guy. There's no contact here. There's all kinds of separation in space. Yes, it ends up being a run play, but we want to watch this stuff from play to play to see what people's technique is. And so now the reason why I show you this play is it ends up being a run, and it's an explosive play. And Gordon, when Gordon realizes it, we can see he's got about, 2 or 3 yards of space ahead of him, but he's got all this distance that he has to cover. Look at this athleticism. Gets out here, chases this guy down, makes a touchdown saving tackle. But the reason why Trent McDuffie is my number 4 corner is they're on the opposite hash, man. And he takes off. He's jogging, hasn't even gotten into a sprint yet. Then he takes off. And even though Gordon's the one that makes a tackle, McDuffie's making this tackle too. That's really impressive. Super impressive athleticism. I know that Trent McDuffie's a really explosive athlete. I think he's a way better athlete than Gordon. I know some people that might have done the research with Kyler Gordon, they'll be like, oh yeah, he did ballet and he did kung fu and all kinds of other crazy stuff. Well, when I watch the tape, the athleticism to me personally pops way more with McDuffie than Gordon. So he might be a more overall accomplished athlete in all worlds of athletics. But if we're talking football athleticism, Trent McDuffie, he takes that number 4 spot just because there's just freaky stuff that shows up on film on a consistent basis. So now we've got Gordon up here at the top of the screen. And so on this play, I want you to see, again, the zone eyes, stops his momentum, sees the play, gets downhill in a hurry. Really good tackle right here. Nice, good form tackle. Now, we don't get to see the knockback power, but this is a really good tackle here. It's a good job. So we'll be able to see it again from the tight. I like the way he breaks down here. Stays outside, right? If he misses, the tackle is and the runner is gonna have to go back inside. It's a good job of taking away that outside half. It's exactly what you want to do in that situation. So the reason why Kyler Gordon was really interesting to me and why I had him as one of my top 10 corners is I think he's the most versatile corner in the entire draft. He can do just about anything. And that's part of the reason why I'm not as excited that he's going to the Bears, because the Bears defense under Eberflus, if you look at his history over time with the Colts, with the Cowboys, all those teams, he was not doing like really intricate stuff. It's a really basic vanilla kind of defense. And so with Gordon, you can line him up all over the field. He's playing outside linebacker right now. Weak side outside linebacker. We get this run play here. And I don't love that he gets his shoulders turned to sideline, but he's holding his ground really well as against the tight end. And as a smaller guy, for his coach to have the confidence to line him up out here in this 9 technique outside this tight end on the line of scrimmage, run play coming your way, and you hold your ground. And so we can even see some technique here. He's actually being held on this play. The tight end wraps his arms around him, and he's got his hands on the breastplate of the tight end. It's really good hand placement. He's doing a good job of leveraging this guy. And then he tears off. He's got the physicality to tear off of this tight end and not get driven to the sideline. We've seen guys in our breakdowns get driven to the sidelines by receivers. Not happening to Kyler Gordon. So now we got him up here at the top of the screen. Again, we can see the beautiful press technique. Look at this. Eyes are where they need to be. The feet are firing out. Opens up, gets his hands on, squeezes this guy, and is all over it. He is a really good press man corner. Even though he didn't get a lot of opportunities to play press man, he's a really good press man corner. So we can see it from the tight. Gets in there, breaks up the pass, harasses the receiver. I really love that. So again, lined up on the line of scrimmage, showing his versatility. So run play here. And what I really love about this play is he understands his fit in the run game. He understands that he is going to be the force player. He's the guy that wants to pursue this outside in, that all of these guys in here are going to spill this to him out here on the perimeter. So he decides when he sees the action to widen with the play. So he widens the edge because he knows that these guys are going to attack it and spill it to him. Then when the run does declare to the outside, he gets downhill, tackles this guy, gets a helmet on the football, ball comes flying out, turnover. Really good job here. And we can see it even better from the tight. So let's fast forward a little bit here. So run play, we get this jet sweep action. He gets in here. Look at the helmet placement on the football. Knocks that ball out. Ball comes flying out, and he secures the tackle. The other thing that I really like here is really good awareness of understanding that it was a fumble and holding on to this guy's legs so he cannot get to the ball. That's a really good job right there. That's why he's one of my top 10 corners. This guy is going to be a really good football player in the NFL. So again, the versatility. Look where he's lined up. Lined up on this tight end. On the line of scrimmage, covering this guy. Dude is only like 5'11", super physical though. He can cover tight ends. So what do we always talk about when we're talking about covering tight ends? You don't need to be as technically sound. So what does he do? He goes with the two-hand jam, forces this guy to flatten his route. So he's already off of his trajectory. He's all over it. There's nowhere to go with the football. Quarterback gets sacked. So we'll be able to see it again from the tight. We get a nice view of it here. Does a good job. Head up on this tight end, right? You don't need to have inside leverage, outside leverage. We just want to go mano-a-mano with these guys. Don't need to be super technically sound. One thing I really like too, this is something that you don't see from a lot of people. He's got his knees cocked in. This is a really old school technique for coverage. Gets his hands on, attached to him, nowhere to go. So I like Kyler Gordon. I'm really excited to see what he ends up doing. I hope the Bears add a little bit of versatility to what they're doing because I think he's a guy that you can line up on the other team's number 2. You can put him on the number 2 receiver, whether that guy is an outside receiver, slot receiver, tight end, no matter what. That guy in man-to-man coverage is going to be able to take away an offense's second option, and that's going to open things up. You can do more double coverage on their best receiver and stuff like that. Like, he is going to be able to hang, and he is going to be fine doing those kinds of things. So I hope that the people that requested to see more Kyler Gordon loved this video. Put some time and some work into studying this guy. He was in my top 10, so I definitely think that he's a good player. So the Bears got a good get. I just hope that they do a little bit more with him than Eberflus has done with guys in the past. So that's it for this video. And as you can see from the intro, the outro, we're adding more stuff because the subscriber count has exploded. Tons of people are really interested in what I'm talking about on here. So I'm going to continue to up my level and up my game for all of these videos. So you want to come back. If you're not subscribed right now, you want to subscribe. You want to come back, and I'm going to do more breakdowns for you. So, as always, you know what it is. It's Coach Williams, Ball Hawks. We fly. I'm out. Peace.
I've made amends. Called all my friends and said I made you better. That we changed more than the weather. But all good things end. And I'll play pretend and say I'm out forever when we both know we would never win.